Hi, welcome on in. So I'm here with Stacie Tresidder-Carthew, which is an amazing Cornish last name, I add, who is the Registered Manager for Supported Living Cornwall, and Tim Lauder, Practice Leader. So last week was Carers Week 2022, celebrating those that work in the sector. We spoke with some wonderful guests about their experience working in care, and then joining us today we've got Stacie and Tim. So thank you for both coming today. First of all, it's amazing to have you in, and I'm loving the outfit choice by Stacie today. This pastel cardigan, it's amazing. So for those of who might not be aware of Havencare, could you tell us a little bit more about it?
Yeah, Havencare is a charity organisation. We started our work back in 1987 when the long stay hospital started to close, predominantly kind of in the Devon area, and then in approximately 2013 we branched out into our Cornwall services, currently providing services for adults with learning disabilities and autism and other various conditions, kind of from Newlyn right up through to Dawlish. Supported living, predominantly, with a couple of residential services over in Devon.
Amazing. So what are your roles all about then? What are both of your roles about? Can you tell us a bit about those too?
Yeah, absolutely. So currently my role is the registered manager, and I oversee all of our Cornwall services, which currently is 37 people we support between Newlyn and St Austell, and a staff team of about 87.
Wow, that's a lot.
No, we've really grown well in Cornwall over the last few years.
That's amazing. And Tim?
Yeah, and I oversee services kind of predominantly in the west of Cornwall.
Okay.
So Redruth, Poole, Penryn, and then also a new service that's going to be commissioned in Leestown, which is near Hale. It's a kind of a mixture of multiple occupancy supported living. I've got a service where 16 people live. They've all got individual flats, and there's a communal hub base on service and then on site, and then also some single support services, which is single people that are supported in their own homes.
That's incredible, isn't it? And really powerful, and obviously a service that a lot of people need by the sounds of it. Absolutely.
I think back in 2011 when Havencare came into Cornwall, it was a bit of a slow burner, and we were supporting one individual, and then progressively over 12 months and now into 8 years, we've kind of just grown from strength to strength, and a lot of it's about word of mouth as well, which is really, really, really good.
So what about kind of work you do across the country? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so across the country, I can't tell you lots and lots about Plymouth and Devon. We'd have to have their registered managers here. And we are going to be cheeky and talk about Cornwall. It's just such a vast amount, isn't it? I mean, you know, our guys can be out today, you know, kind of driving skills, and we might be teaching people to hold their tenancies, budget management, using a washing machine, and then tomorrow you might be travel training, and you might be on a bus to Truro. Some days you might just be having a cup of coffee and kind of emotionally engaging with people. Such a vast amount, isn't there?
Yeah, every day is just completely different. Like we support such an amazing range and variety of different people with really different kind of support needs. So it can be anything, like Stacie's saying. We support individuals that have quite high and complex needs, so they're supported on more of a 24/7 basis with 1 to maybe 2 members of staff, and then we've also got individuals that are supported for a couple of hours a day, not even over 7 days a week. So it's really about empowering people and upskilling people. And just one of my services, for instance, that we've got is a gentleman that lives in the west of the county, that initially when he entered kind of adult living services, supported living services, he was supported on a really high, quite complex ratio. So he had 24/7 care, 2 to 1, so he had 2 people with him 24 hours a day with a sleep in.
Wow.
And now he has 5 hours of support a day, Monday to Saturday, and then outside
sometimes
of those,
and sometimes on holiday with his girlfriend.
I'm having to
really empowering.
Yeah, having to find hours for his staff because him and his
incredible.
girlfriend are taking themselves to Butlins for a week. So I have a whole staff team that I need to try and find hours for elsewhere.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
It's so amazing to hear that, you know, where they've come from and now where they are. That's really important, isn't it? And having that independence.
Yeah.
So supported living is a really big part of the process. Can you tell us a little bit more about the support parts of that?
Yeah, so I mean, 37, you know, people we support, not one is a carbon copy of another, and absolutely rightfully so. Supported living can just look so different from each individual, can't it? It might be that and there's kind of two takes on it, because like Tim's saying, you might have an individual that lives in their own home with their immediate staff team, or you might have an individual that would have the tenancy in what we call our supported lifestyles projects. So they may live with 7 or 16 others in your case, another project where there's 8 individuals, where they might just get a few hours of support, and it's really, really clear what their outcomes and what the focus of that support is. It might just, it might be maintaining their tenancy, it might be about health, it might be about a condition, where others with higher support needs, but then they come together and they have some communal space, and they're able to mix. And they'll tap into what we call like our core background support, so there's always someone on hand to give that advice or that support. We have supported living is really about kind of empowering people. You're always on a pathway with someone, and really recognising where they are on that pathway, and how not only how you upskill those individuals, but how we are recognising and working with our staff team to ensure that they've always got the right training and the right skills to be able to empower those individuals. It just comes in such different forms. It's almost hard to discuss it because you're so instinctively in it every day, and you're empowered by it yourself as well, aren't you? Just one day is never the same.
I was just going to say, you can see how passionate you both are about this, and it's really nice to see that as well, because it is probably quite an emotional job to have. So to be so passionate about it and really care about it and want to empower these people is fantastic. It's really good to see.
No, definitely, and I think it's you have to love what you do. Days are tough, days are busy, but to do it and have the privilege to work along the people that really trust us, it is a privilege. It's not just a job, it's not just a role. So I am definitely proud to do what I do.
Absolutely, and I think that that sometimes gets forgotten, because I think that we're so important to the people we support, but I don't think they always realise how important they are to us. And it is like saying you really have to love what you're doing, because you're not doing it for fame and fortune. That's not the sector that we're working in, and that's not what the sector's about. It is because you really want to make a difference. And I think when you find an organisation that recognise that and recognise people's values, and really lead on kind of a value-based and strive towards like having a really good value base and a mutually exclusive value base, where our values are just really seen throughout everything we do, from the people that we support, recognising their values and what's important to them, and that's what it's based around. It's really based around the people that we support, and that's how our entire organisation works from the top right down.
Incredible message. You got me feeling empowered now. I love it. That's amazing. So kind of talking about career pathways then, does that feed into it? Do you help people with that? How does Havencare do that?
Absolutely. And I actually think, I've got my own story to tell just since working at Havencare, and you definitely have. I think I kind of quickly did a bit of data before we came here, and we have a leadership team, just Cornwall alone, but organisationally, there's kind of data there. I think we have a leadership team of 17 currently, of service managers, team leaders, and actually 9 of them started as support workers. So something that we're really, really passionate about is kind of homegrown talent and really keeping that within, because people, staff members get to go on that career pathway, that career journey, but the people we support still get to keep that knowledge and those connections and those bonds within our service, which is really, really great. I mean, my own pathway at Havencare, I came in as a trainee manager and went on to be a service manager and then a practice leader, and here I am today, as the registered manager. And you have your own journey as well, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. So when I started so it'll be 4 years this year. When I started in November 2018, I came on as a support worker, working predominantly over in St Austell, actually, in a newly commissioned service that was over there. And I was relatively new to the sector in a formal way. I was before that I was a family carer for around 10 years. So I had 2 disabled parents. So my mother and my grandmother both lived with disabilities. So it was something that was just in my blood. It's something that I always did. And then when the opportunity came to I could actually do this as a job, I just kind of thought, amazing. So I took that on, and Havencare really is an organisation that you will get out as much as you put in, and they're really around kind of homegrown, kind of seeing that drive and that potential in people, and really just giving them the tools to to grow themselves. And Stacie put a lot of trust in me from quite soon on from when I started, really, because I think she must have just seen that my values obviously aligned, and I really wanted to kind of understand and to grow. And within the 4 years, or less than 4 years, that I've been with the organisation, I've kind of gone through that career pathway of support worker to team leader to service manager to practice leader. So it was a bit of a whirlwind.
I bet it sounds like a lot.
But it is really nice to know that you really feel valued, and that's reflected. Whereas it's not, you don't feel stuck. You don't feel like you've hit a ceiling. And even now, I know that I've still got places to go. Yeah. So I don't feel stagnant. And it's every day is a new day, and you're learning something new every day. And then it's nice where I now am in the position where I get to upskill my staff team, and I get to recognise my staff team. So it's nice when I've got my staff that I'm able to interview and give promotions to. So it's really nice that it's kind of come full circle.
That's lovely. And I'd like the fact that, because I mean, so many people do have people in their family who may have disabilities and things, and it really is quite common, isn't it? And I think sometimes we forget that, and we forget how needed the care sector is, and there's parents who might be a little bit unsure about reaching out for that support. But the fact that you're both so passionate about it, and where your values kind of align, is like, it's lovely, and I love to hear that. So we do have a bit of testimony here from one of your staff. So let's have a look at that. So Bill Caesar from Haven Homes and Support Limited says, been here 3 months and just finished my probation period. So far the job is great. The staff are friendly, helpful and welcoming. I started here thinking it'd be a job that had tied me by, but now I'm wishing I'd done this job years ago. Easily one of the best places I've ever worked, which is...
amazing.
Says it for itself, doesn't it?
I actually bumped into Bill on Saturday when he came in on shift, and he thanked me for his job, and I was like, absolutely not, like, you did this on your own merit, your own value base, like, really. And I think that's it, isn't it? You're coming in and you're empowering the people you support, but actually you're empowering yourself. I think if you've even had a fleeting thought that social care or a support worker role might be for you, and then you've dismissed it, the fact that you've even had that fleeting thought, actually come back to that, because I think if you thought about it, it's somewhere deep inside you've got that core value, to even consider it. Yeah.
And I really agree with what Bill said, because I think as much as the focus should be and always is on the people we support, sometimes we forget like how lucky we are to work with the people that we work with as in our peer group. Like I wouldn't want to do this with anyone else. My colleagues, I just appreciate, I consider them friends. It's just, it's nice to know that you've got such a strong team behind you, because when you're working collectively and towards the kind of the same values and the same end goal, it really just makes supporting the people we support so much easier.
Strong team,
and
strong
stronger,
support.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love to hear that as well.
Yeah.
It's just fantastic, and the organisation itself just sounds so amazing to work for and very real. It doesn't feel very corporate and very, there's a lot of empathy, isn't there?
You've actually hit the nail on the head, and something organisation that we're really proud of is that we're not a hierarchical approach to our organisation. I absolutely know I could pick up the phone to our CEO and kind of divulge and seek support as I could a support worker if I thought they were the best person to kind of arm me with their expertise. It's not a corporate feel to it at all, and I think on the flip side of that, the people we support know who they can go to. If you say, who would you complain to if I wasn't delivering the right support? They know exactly who they'd go to, and they would know how to.
That's great.
Absolutely.
It feels very safe as well. Like as an employee, I bet that it's just very natural to do that.
Yeah,
which is great, especially for younger people maybe coming into care, because sometimes I think it can be quite intimidating. I've heard some crazy stories about that. But moving off of that, have you got any vacancies at the moment that anyone might be interested in?
As amazing as we are, I'm afraid to say we're not fully recruited. So absolutely, our retention's really good in Havencare. I was looking at our data before I left this morning, and we're on 99% to 100% retention, so staff do stick with us, which I think speaks absolute volumes. We currently, in our current vacancies at the moment for our services, are already established. We have a team leader role over in the St Austell area, leading a team for 2 very, very delightful ladies. And then we have across Cornwall, In our existing services, we have about 9 vacancies for support workers, but we're also, as Tim was talking about, the new service in the Hale area, we are recruiting a full team of support workers and a service manager. And those vacancies can be full-time, part-time, casual basis, waking nights, day staff.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
there's a combination.
There's something for everyone.
So anyone who's
Absolutely.
interested in care could just go to you and just talk about it and, you know, say what their needs are, what they'd like to do, even if they just want to try it maybe and just have like a trial period of that.
Yeah, so we've actually just changed our recruitment process. We, used to come in and interview, and it'd feel quite corporate actually.
Yeah.
So we've just changed that, and you now have your initial interview, but then you always go in and have a look around the service and make sure, and we really make sure that you're the right for that service and that you feel that it's right for you, because often that can not happen until you've done your induction or till you've been offered the job. So really having that kind of fluid, natural approach, and it means that the people we support, they know. Sometimes someone walks in and they go no, and you think, oh, okay, let's try another service. But it means that it's really person centered, and how nice to actually have a taste of what you're agreeing to sign up for as well.
Brilliant. It's really, really good. And actually I think it's so much more, I feel like it's good because I think a lot of organisations should be moving out of that old sort of thing into this new one, and it's so much more welcoming, so much more real. We're all human, we all have empathy, we all have
and that's it, especially to have an interview in an office where you'll probably never work in an office again after your interview.
So it looks like you're always out and about and up to things. So can you tell us what's going on in these photos we're about to look at?
Oh, please. That's myself and Lynn. Lynn is another great example of our career pathway. Lynn has been a support worker, a shift leader, a team leader, and she's actually just been successful for a role as a service manager. So that's us just out and about recruiting and kind of saying hi to people and sharing what our vacancies and what we do. I actually took this one. I'm always guilty of the pint in hand photos. That's me and our lovely lady that we support in Newquay, where we currently have a vacancy. We are just down at Portreath in the pub, enjoying the sunshine.
Love it. I
mean, call it a job. These are some of our, at the time, newly recruited team leaders, having some 2-to-1 induction. It doesn't get more intense than that. In our Cornwall office with one of our practice leaders, Karen. Just having their induction. Yeah.
Is that a chicken?
Yeah. So this is our one of our amazing people that we support in the Redruth area in our largest supported lifestyle service. So that the one where the 16 individuals live. So this is amazing. Yeah, he's just incredible. He's I think this is actually the donkey sanctuary down in Flicker. Actually, I think they've got quite a lot of livestock down there where he goes down there on a weekly basis. He's recently been commissioned some additional 1-to-1 hours, whereas before he just tapped into what we call like the background support. So as Stacie was talking about the supported lifestyle service, where we have those communal spaces, those are really kind of fluid, a really fluid way of support delivery where people can come and go. Where now this gentleman was commissioned some really personalised 1-to-1 hours, so it means he can get out in the community and really do things meaningful to him. He grew up and worked on a farm as a young man, so it's nice that it's kind of come full circle and he's able to kind of get back to his roots.
That's our lovely Jen, our team leader, and a person we support in the Penzance area, and we joined Chaos on their recruiting heroes for the care sector. Was that before Christmas now, wasn't it? We got absolutely soaking that day. But we rope anyone into it, as you can see.
Yeah, that's great. Oh.
Yeah, and this is our part of our leadership team. They meet, so bearing in mind that our services run from Newlyn to St Austell, we find it's, they're a peer group, and without kind of coming together periodically, they wouldn't see each other. So we really try to ensure that, I think we meet face to face once every 3 months, we try to, and then weekly on a Teams call to really just embed that peer support. Everyone brings something different to the table, so it's really great. They're just so supportive of each other, despite not working together in a service.
Yeah, and it's important, especially since COVID, especially since everyone was kind of at home and you know, really disconnected. There was you might have not really spoken to each other or met each other in person. So even maybe even having that, you know, is just so important. Team building.
And that's it. That weekly remote, you know, on a video call started because of COVID, and they just got so much out of it that we've continued it. And we've always got something to talk about.
Yeah, and everyone's got a little, like a pocket of knowledge, and it's nice to be able to be in one room where someone might think that they're struggling with something, but someone else in that room might have the answer, but without having that opportunity to share that, it just that peer support is really important. And I think it's something that we're definitely, obviously we've taken and we're going to move forward and we'll continue with.
Oh, I love it. So it looks great, and thank you both for all of the hard work you and your teams are doing. I cannot wait to see you again, and I really wish you all the success.
Thank you.
So thank you for coming on today. But before we go, can we have some contact details from you? How could people get in touch if they want to apply or they want to just have a chat?
Yep, so our you can find our vacancies on our website, which is www.havencare.com. Equally, you can Google, I don't know our head office number off the top of my head. Just go to my phone, go on the website, get our number, and just ask to come through to one of us. We're always up for a chit chat about our vacancies or what's going on. Yeah,
and also for any information around vacancies, you can just email recruitment@havencare.com, and there'll be someone that'll be happy to help.
Amazing, very, very exciting stuff. So, I will hand back to Ross now. Thank you so much for you both coming in today, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you. Thank you.